I'm Megan.
I'm CJ.
And I'm Erica.
And this is the Her Podcast.
All right, everybody, it's a solo today, and I'm just going to let you know it goes all over the place. We titled this one Lessons Learned, and I think we actually learned a few lessons while in the podcast, so buckle up for those. We go over the stigma of fake it till you make it, what it looks like being authentically you, how to invest in yourself, and so much more. We hope you enjoy this one.
I feel like we're going to have to start setting a
Dress code
or a color theme because
This is a color theme, though.
I know.
But it's actually kind of nice to have like one, like, because
We
you
can
can
always
imagine
count
all
on
three
Megan
of
to wear
us.
neutral and a blazer.
Yeah, but you have pink too.
I
Like
do.
you wear some pink.
I was just really struggling to get dressed today.
I was struggling to get dressed, and so I wore what I wore yesterday.
Honestly, I love it. I was like, oh my gosh, she has another hot pink thing. I must ask where she's getting them from.
Literally the same thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Yeah, you'll see it on repeat, I think, this summer because it's just cozy.
Yeah.
Not cozy, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
For summer, and it's easy to throw on, which is why I'm starting to like dresses more. Because you just put them on and away you go.
It's like,
and they look cute and put together.
It's a whole outfit in one piece of clothing.
And I feel like, and I'm wearing a little bit extra of an outfit, but I'm like, people think I put like a lot of effort into my look today.
Well,
But it's literally like a dress.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's the most easy thing to put on.
totally. Because you don't have to.
And I did my hair naturally curly. I actually put in like as little effort as I could today. Don't
Erica's
get me
like-
to put on pants. It's not going to happen.
Okay, that's the thing. I actually picked Asher up from school the other day, and I was wearing this long maxi dress, and one of the other moms was like, well, you look so pretty. I'm like, thanks. I'm just super pumped I don't have to wear pants.
Yeah, it's the
That's
dresses 100%.
Just easy.
Yeah,
Well, today we're going to do a solo episode.
cool.
We're going to talk about all the shit we've learned over the years.
Great.
Who wants to start? No, I'm just kidding. Lessons learned is kind of the topic. And we threw it out there to our audience to gather some questions. And there was a bit of a theme, which is kind of funny because I had already started typing out some questions and they were very aligned. So I think that means that we're very in tune with our audience. What?
She just realized she doesn't have her wedding ring on, so she feels naked.
I was like, 4. What's 4?
It's in my pocket because I went dirt biking
Do you
again.
want to wear mine?
But I can't bike with my wedding ring on.
No, you can't.
It like just sits in the wrong spot.
Well, and
Yeah.
the gloves,
There's like
my
3 of them.
Gloves are tight.
Oh.
I feel like, yeah.
So I always end up putting in my pocket, the little pocket inside of the big
Dirt
pocket.
bike problems, you guys.
Anyways, I am married, in case you were wondering. Anyways, we are talking about our lessons learned.
And can I just full disclosure tell everyone that I have a bit of a cough, so I'm really sorry. I'll duck my head away, but you might hear that.
Do you need a lozenge? Because
No,
I
I'm
could
fine.
get you one.
I have water.
Okay.
Can you imagine me eating a lozenge in the mic? Yeah.
I love how we immediately
I'm
all
really
started
sorry,
doing
everyone.
No,
For
go. Kick us off.
There's people that like that kind of stuff. Okay, so there was a bit of a common theme. People were inquiring about, how to tune into yourself, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut in business and in life. How do we show up authentically? And so I kind of wanted to start us off there because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and they were talking about fake it till you make it. And so I wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts are on that phrase, fake it till you make it.
I embraced that way too hard when I was younger. That is something that I said out loud as an employer and as a manager and as a person. I, full disclosure, would 100% adopted fake it till you make it.
What did it mean to you?
It meant to have grit and like grit your teeth, like muster up your energy, grit, like just get through it and come out on the other side and it's all going to be figured out. And it really, I think in hindsight, puts away the emotional piece, right? And does not take into account how we're actually feeling or like what's going on. And it's like, nope, just like shut everything down, hold it all in and push through.
Put on a face.
Which is how I would have approached, my early 20s.
In work and in life.
yes, okay, we're going here. And I'm like, oh.
you can say pass. We should get a pass. We should get a pass button. Pass.
Or a sign that's
As solos, we're no longer allowed to hit pass anymore. Dude, buckle up.
Like, you answered, or we're going to stare at you.
No, I started going through some of these questions because I'm a preparer, and I was having a conversation with Ben, my husband, and authenticity and all these things. And I was just like, okay, something I'm going to open up about, which is not going to be a shocker to anyone, but you just think that people don't know this, is I really have a tendency for perfectionism and for how things are presented and how they're perceived and how I'm perceived. And I am working through letting go some of that. And it's really hard because I want to let go of some of these things that I see, that shed some of these things that I see that aren't benefiting me and aren't helping me and are more so hindering me, and really keeping me closed off from relationships, from opportunities, from things in the world. And yeah, it's just a tough process to actually speak out and identify that that's who you are. And that's my MO. And that's something that I'm working on.
Are there specific things that you're having a hard time letting go of?
All of it.
A, B, C, or D, all of the above. Well, here's what I'll say. I think that that's really self-aware, and I think that it's also very layered, and you have years of practice of doing things a certain way. So when you decide okay, I recognize that I want to change the way I'm doing something here, you don't have that easy button or that hey, now everything's fixed. I've recognized it. Here we go. You really have to do some trial and error, and it's starting off being very vulnerable with yourself, which is scary, and then putting yourself out into this world in a new light. That's very vulnerable as well.
Well, and I think it's not for me personally perfectionism of I want people, yes, I want people to like me and all of those things, but I'm for me, it actually perfectionism stems from a place of wanting to be a good person. I want to help others, and I want to make sure I'm providing the most value or the most benefit to myself and to those around me. And so I'm actually not necessarily always even trying to get myself further. I'm trying to make sure that my contribution as a whole is just good. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm overthinking and just very focused on contributing well to society, to my friendships, to my work, right? And so sometimes, yeah, that fake it till you make it. I think that I can just really hold everything in and just push through, which, is not working well for my body. So.
And then we laugh.
Stay tuned for that one. Cliffhanger, everybody. Cliff notes are your body holds trauma.
And CJ's reading that book, so she's going to tell us about it when she's finished. And I get to order
keeps
it.
The score.
It's in my Amazon cart.
Van Bessel? Oh, I even looked it up. See, this is my perfectionism.
I know.
I literally was I want to know the author's name of this. But then my anxiety, in a moment, I just get this blank. Mm-hmm. My brain just goes blank and can't pull from it. And then I'm having this battle inside of me that's wanting to be perfect and have this name, but a very real instance where my anxiety shows up and I can't pull that forward. So then my internal dialogue is that I suck.
Yeah. No, I understand that, even though we know you don't.
In layman's terms,
I'm terrible.
I'm the worst.
The non-medical.
The non-proper term is I suck.
Yeah, man.
And in reality,
we're
getting great video footage of CJ right now. And in reality, we can just hit Google.
Yeah. Everyone Google it.
Google it. We'll put it in the show notes.
What do you think?
If we remember.
Which, how often do you think we're it'll be in the show notes? And then we're it probably is because CJ does.
I literally, at the end of the episodes, I'm I need to go back and write that. Have you ever adopted fake it till you make it?
Yeah, but I think it probably, I mean, I would say it means something to different people.
Yeah.
So I think fake it, like I'll say fake it till you make it when I'm like, so a good example is I just did a speaking engagement by myself and we agreed we would like have this conversation. We're like, we'll go and, I don't know, shocker, I actually have a really big, I don't know, like a mental block when it comes to me public speaking. And I'm sure whenever I tell people I get really nervous to public speak, people are like, no, you don't. And I'm like, first of all, yes. CJ and I had decided that I would go and do it by myself. And we had like made this decision and we had committed. And obviously the inner dialogue starts. And I did a lot of work to get ready for that event. And it was like tiny. It was so short and like not a big deal. But I have no problem in that moment being like, fake it till you make it. Like I'm going to walk up and I'm going to fake my confidence even when I'm not feeling it to get me there because I've like committed. I've said yes. I don't think adopt fake it till you make it. Like just, I don't know why. I don't want to use that example, but you know, if you're in a situation with people that you genuinely don't like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just fake. Like if someone were to be like, I work with these people and this is their environment and this is all the things, but the money's like really good. I would not say fake it till you make it. I'd be like, you should get a new job. But I believe fake it till you make it can be a mechanism when you're like, I want to do this thing, but there's an internal part of me that's holding me back and I'm going to like go and like present. So leading up to the speaking engagement, I was like, I'm a great public speaker. I have so much confidence. I'm going to rock this. Like, I am going to be amazing. Like, I am amazing. And I actually did that. I would say, like, I'm going to do well. And I'd be like, I do well.
Yes.
I'm great.
Yeah.
Present
Right.
tense.
It was present. It was like in an actionable state of like, this has already happened. And so that's when I'm like, I'm fine to tell people fake it till you make it when it's like that. Or like when we tell people to make reels.
Yeah.
And they're like, and maybe they're having nerves about it. I'm like, fake it till you make it, right? Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to not be, because I think this is the thing. I think people get into a place and they're like, I can't do it until I'm confident. And I'm like, you might build your confidence as you're doing it. Right?
Yeah, I
Like,
think there's a piece of channel the energy you
Yes.
want to feel.
And so that's what I think fake it till you make it means to me is like, you want to feel good, then say you feel good even when you don't.
yeah.
And it will come and it'll be a process.
And I think maybe it's our culture too right now that we're all about the word
Authenticity.
authenticity, right? So when they hear, maybe our generation hears, our culture hears, fake it till you make it, we feel like that's the opposite of authenticity.
Yeah.
And I like that you described that it's more so channeling who you want to be and the energy that you want to be.
I think when I first started Elizabeth Lynn, I said it a lot. And in what I felt it meant to me was I'm figuring it out as I go. Find a way to do it. I'm very resourceful. And so I'm just like, I don't know how to do this, so I'll just fake it till I make it. You know what I mean? But it's like, I never really had a negative aspect to it. Now I think I would never say it in relation to my business or how I run my business, because to me, things are so emotion based and it's so important to me how I feel in doing something that I used to kind of just say it as a way of like I'm figuring it out as I go is kind of what it meant to me. But then you speak about like walking into a room too. And there's a little bit of that energy too, that it's just like, hey, I'm just going to like pretend I'm confident.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, friends, it's Erica here. If you've been following along with me on my personal page, then you know we've been in the middle of some big renovations at our house. We are almost done. I promise the before and after photos are coming, but just a little while longer. One thing we did have dealt with during our renovations was actually getting like some plumbing and heating stuff done. Again, that's as technical as I can be because it was not my area of expertise. The area of expertise was actually True Mechanical. I've had the opportunity to hang out with True Mechanical a number of times, not just on our renovation. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is the definition of dream team. They are so fun, so amazing. They brought like little coloring books and treats for my kids. They're just so thoughtful. If you're looking for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, sheet metal, or gas fitting services, then you need to check out True Mechanical. Summer is right around the corner and we know how hot it gets, so you might be in need of a new air conditioner. Or if you're planning renovations like we just did, whatever the case, you're going to want to call True Mechanical. You guys need to just go over and watch their Instagram. They're hilarious on Reels. They're so creative, just the best energy. We all want our projects finished on time and with the best quality. True Mechanical promises just that and delivers with amazing customer service. Like I said, they even thought to bring my kids coloring books and activities to keep them busy during this process. Together, owners Chad and Dakota have over 30 years of experience and know how important it is to deliver top-level workmanship and customer service, both of which you will get when you work with the True Crew. True Mechanical services Saskatoon area and are a locally owned and operated small business, so you know you are supporting fellow Saskatchewan families when you work with them. They value trust and honesty above everything, and you will get fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer services working with True. You can find them on Instagram at True Mechanical. That's TrueMechanical, and visit them online at truemechanical.ca. Again, that's TrueMechanical.ca. You can also call or text them at 1-306-220-1101. That's 1-306-220-1101. I promise you guys, you're not going to be disappointed with the quality of work and the quality of people. Check out True Mechanical.
So then that kind of leads me into, how do you deal with showing up to something or in something, whether that be to an event or on social media? Because I think we hear a lot, people are like, oh, I just can't do stories because I just feel awkward and I don't want to show up. And you have to.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to.
Thank you for saying that.
You don't have to. And so I think I'm trying to walk through a process of like, okay, I'm feeling resistance here. How can I work through that, right? I'm sitting at home. I'm working at home. I have no makeup on. Do I need to have makeup on? Do I need to present this way, right? Is it okay to just show up as me? I think the other piece that I'm struggling through is just like mental health, right? So some days I'm super anxious.
Yep.
Other days I'm depressed, and I'm dealing with mental health issues and I don't feel like showing up in that space. Right. And so I'm still trying to navigate and figure out how I show up, air quotes, authentically as me. I don't know. I think this is like, guys, I'm honestly wrestling through this, like right now, how to not fake it till you make it, in the sense of like, I've always just pushed through and like put a face. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to put a face. Yeah. Like, what if I'm just struggling today? And it's okay to say that.
Yeah. And it's okay to just not say anything at all, too, if that's what your instinct is, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love that you said, like, you don't have to show up, because actually we don't. We don't necessarily owe it to anybody to show up if we're not feeling healthy. And I think that the older I get, the more I feel comfortable doing that, or communicating that. So I really love that you said that.
How do you feel about showing up?
I don't know, just like fake it till you make it.
I'm just... We need this yin and this yang. Can you tell how our business works so well? I'm like, you go high, I'll go low.
Well,
you go high, I'll go low.
It diffuse the tension. Yeah, that's fine. When I think about showing up on stories, I typically show up when I have something to say. And I don't if I don't have something to say. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's very second nature. Like, I don't actually ever think about that kind of question. Like, someone asked me that. They're like, how do you show up authentically? And I just like had no answer, because I was like,
well, you just do.
Because I just But we've talked about this recently with like my social media journey. And I'm like, I don't know how to like quote unquote teach you
to do what I do.
Because there's a God-given gift in me about being able to show up and not care that I have no makeup on and not care that I don't have a bra on and my curly hair's wild or I look beautiful today and I'm all put together. To me, it's like nor here nor there. I'm like, I'm just going to be like, hello. So I actually, with the whole like, how do you show up authentically? I'm like, I guess this is so stupid, but it's like, be who you are. And I think maybe for me, I've just gotten to a place where I'm like, I'm just going to own that I look like trash right now. Or like, hi, I've had here's my messy home while I do my try on. Just like enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's a level of confidence that I've practiced and worked through. And I'm just like, I don't know, show up or don't show up.
Well,
or do what you need to do to feel confident. Like if you're right. So we talk with people in social and they'll be like, I don't want to show my face on socials. Right. So we like have like systems in place. Like you can do this. Here's ideas. Here's this. And I'm like, listen, if you don't want to get on stories as is, but you're like, you know, I need to, or I do want to, and I'm working through this, I'd be like, okay, so what are the steps to get you ready to be on socials? Well, I don't like going on without makeup. Okay, put your makeup on. That's fine. And the other thing that I actually don't like about this whole authentic world that everyone's pushing is that if this person who's nervous about getting on without makeup wears makeup and then people are like, she never has makeup on. I'm like, can you bugger off? Maybe it's what is getting her to that place. Right. And I think authenticity right now is kind of a little bit saturated in.
It's like a buzzword.
Well, and it's kind of like, but who are we to say that person's authentic or not authentic?
They only are the only ones
They
that
know.
inside
They know
of
who they
themselves.
are.
Yeah.
Do people look at me and go, oh, she shows up to her podcast looking like this, but on her personal page. So which is which? Well, can't I be both?
Well, what does authenticity mean then at the end of the day?
mean.
Like, what is the root of it? What is the definition?
Yeah. We're so stressed about authenticity and what others think authenticity is. And then I'm like, what is it to you? What does it look like?
What does it feel like?
What does it feel like? Because if you want to be confident, authentically confident, that might be getting ready for the day. And that's okay. Right? I don't know.
Well, and I think we've talked about this, like you made two really good points there. Like one, look at your life. What do you naturally do? Right? Like, are you wearing makeup? Are you not wearing makeup? Are you, looking like this? Are you at the park? Are you with your kids? Whatever. Right? And that's a great way to just lean into what you're already doing. Could be authenticity. And then the second piece is sometimes we need something to get us over the hump. Right? So even in our business with our mentor we've talked about recently, just how nice it feels to get ready for the day and be ready for the day, right? And put yourself together. And again, that doesn't have to be like full stop anything, but just when you feel ready for the day, you can just take on a lot more, right? And so I think as entrepreneurs, and like working from home sometimes, you're like, I'm just a mangly mess over here.
There's like a little bit of a switch that flips. Like when I worked at home for many years until I had the studio, and every day I got up and I got ready and I got dressed. I think maybe twice I wore sweatpants to work. It was a mental thing for me that it's like, hey, I need to get ready and then feel like, I'm going to work, even though I'm in my home and I'm probably going to stop and do the laundry and I'm probably going to do this, that, or the other. But it's that like little mental switch, right? And, it's just like how Erikas spoke about in her solo episode, dressing for how you want to feel. I think it's like a little piece that you can lean into.
Well, and authenticity, it's like, who's the judge of it? Because I know influencers who are always perfect on social media. Perfect. But that's how they are. Like their house is always clean. Like they always look put together. And then we come on here and we're like, that's not authentic. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're authentic.
Yeah.
Your authentic looks different. And that's cool. But you can't stand here and go, that's not authentic. That's not you. Unless you're in someone's brain, or I would say like, Nick might be able to look at me and go, that's not real. Like I know your inner workings because we have that very soul connected relationship. I'm like, that's why I think the word for me is a little bit like, I don't think
it's a bit loaded.
Well, I don't know how someone asked, how do I show up authentically on social media? I don't know. Get on and be yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not comfortable with that, then you probably have work to do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what CJ's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Literally. I'm sorry, not to call you out, but I just am like,
no, it's just, you're finding those ways of how it feels best for you. And that's trial and error.
Stay tuned.
Part 2.
What other questions do you have for us?
We have, let me read down the list. People were talking about like listening to your gut and building trust with yourself. So I just love to speak to like why listening to your gut is so important for you, for each of us.
Or is it important?
Or is
Erica?
it? I think no, I won't say. I think she naturally listens to, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I think I naturally listen to my gut, which is why it throws me when I don't. Because that feeling is foreign to me. So I've had some instances in the last year where I've made decisions and I've like had conversations and I like ignore my gut. And later on, I'm like, I knew that wasn't the right decision. And I went ahead with it anyway. And now what? And I'm a pivoter, right? I'm like, okay, well, here are my 2 options. Like, I don't dwell. I can acknowledge and then move on. So I think the importance of listening to your gut, although this is like a hard one because I'm like, I don't always believe your gut is right too, because we all have lenses we're looking through life and experiences we're looking through life. Like, our gut isn't like a secret thing that's outside of us and knows the future. We can only react from what we know. Sometimes your gut actually isn't correct, because I think it genuinely comes from a place of our past and our own experiences. Right?
Well, and how often are we like propelling a narrative forward?
Yes.
Well, and how do you lean into something, right? You'd be like, okay, I think the biggest thing that I'm hearing from you, Erica, is like, that I'm taking away is, what do I acknowledge is happening in my body right now? And then what does that actually mean? Right? So sometimes what I'm feeling in my body is true, right? And sometimes what I'm feeling in my body is like, oh, I'm actually feeling this, right? So like anxiety can feel like excitement.
Yeah, that's a big one for me to discern. Excitement and anxiety are very, very hard for me to distinguish.
Right? And so sometimes you have to stop and say, am I just really excited for something that's coming? Yeah, I am. My gut is telling me that I'm excited. And I can sit here and walk through the story and the trigger points of like it being anxiety. And then all the other flood of emotions start happening in my system and my body. Right? Or I can be like, this is excitement. This is okay. You're not panicked. You know, you don't need to get all sweaty palmed and start freaking out and start, breathing like that. So I think stopping to listen to your body and be like, okay, what am I actually feeling? What am I actually thinking? And it can go both of 2 ways. I would agree with you, Erica.
What do you think?
I think that anxiety and excitement, see, like my stomach's going crazy right now.
Let's talk about that. Why?
Like I feel...
if you're willing. Oh, wait, you can't say pass because we already said that. Your turn.
For me, and like we've had this conversation before, the 3 of us, I have a very, if you can see me right now, I'm very uncomfortable.
She's like holding herself a little bit.
Yeah. I have a very hard time, like I said, discerning excitement and anxiety. And that's a trauma response for me. There was anxiety has been in my life for many years. I am like hot all over right now, you guys.
Do you just want to pass?
No, I'm just trying to find the words. I think that I trained myself when I was very young to not feel excitement because it was gonna get pulled out from under me, and to not have expectations because they were not going to be met. And so listening to my gut has been a big journey through my life, because like you said, it could be wrong. And like you said, it's like, am I creating a narrative? Right? So something will trigger me and I will spiral into this narrative of like something that's going to happen because this is what happened last time and the time before that. So for me, anxiety and excitement kind of became this one feeling. And so now it's very hard for me to distinguish. I'm working on it. You know, the other morning I woke up and I can't remember what morning it was or what it was for, but I was like, wait, is this excitement? Like, does this feel exciting? Is this what excitement feels like? And I just lay there and I was like, okay.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
You can say pass, but what were you excited for?
I'm trying to remember what it was.
I mean, you're saying it happened in the bedroom, so I'm assuming.
No. I woke up in the morning and felt it. That's funny.
I have also woken up in the morning.
Haven't we all?
I
I think maybe it was, I remember what it was. It was my birthday day for my best friend's, we do a birthday day, the four of us plan for the other, the three of us plan for the other one, whoever's birthday it is. And I woke up and I was like, I think I'm excited, and then I actually started allowing, I guess myself, my sister took me on a trip for my birthday. And that was I found out we were going at Christmas and we went in March. And so that was like a period of time that I kind of allowed myself to look forward to something and still kind of have a hard time setting expectation. Which I don't think is a bad thing necessarily, because I feel like it allows me to live in the moment a little bit more. So that might be like a positive to the trauma. So I kind of have this interesting relationship with listening to my gut. And I know I speak about listening to your intuition a lot. But for me, part of that is tied to anticipating what's going to happen.
Hello, everybody. It's Erica. So as you probably know by now, I'm a happy mom of 3 to a boy, girl, boy situation. They're amazing. I love them. Maybe they'll hear this. Hi, guys. Something we've noticed with our youngest, though, is his speech. He is so sweet, and people are often saying how cute he sounds. But we've noticed that he has a bit of a lisp going on. And while we know it's adorable right now, we want him to be set up for the future so that people can actually understand him as he heads into kindergarten. This is where It's a Speech thing comes in. It was a no-brainer for me that I was going to call this crew to help me with Theo's speech. It's a Speech thing is owned by Kirsten Cito, who takes a fun and empowering approach to speech language pathology and offers support in a way that is easily accessible, which is so freaking important. It's a Speech thing offers a customized solution for children and adults who need support with speech, language, and communication. I love that they take a family-centered approach and include the parents so we can truly support our children with implementing new skills at home. At the end of every session, Kirsten and I always have a little debrief to go over how Nick and I can actually support our son at home. I love this because we don't just have to rely on our sessions every single time. We can take that homework and develop Theo as we go. What we found really amazing is the children's speech therapy is geared to engage children of all ages through play-based interactions. So Theo is always having fun and learning at the same time. I swear the first thing he says when we either go into the room or we pop up on Zoom is, "Can we play a game?" Kirsten will also work in collaboration with the other professionals involved in your child's life to really provide a comprehensive and integrated approach to speech and language development across all settings. Talk about community, you guys. It's a Speech thing sessions can be booked in person in both Saskatoon and Calgary and throughout all of Saskatchewan and Alberta through online sessions. That's actually what we typically do because we live outside of the city, and it's been so easy to do. Head to itsaspeechthing.com. That's ITSASPEECHTHING, spelt exactly as it sounds, .com. To learn more and get a free consultation, yes, free consultation with Kirsten, follow along on Instagram at It's a Speech Thing Inc. We're linking it all in the show notes for you guys so you can easily find it and connect. It's weird for me to say that it's kind of always a gamble because I understand that the whole point of trusting your gut is that it's not supposed to be. But I think what we've all talked about here is so you've been trusting your gut in a way for a long time and now you're doing work. So it'll look different probably. Right? I don't think it's constant. I don't think it's always the same. Just like we're not always the same and we're not always constant.
Yeah.
So I would say if you have been in a space where you haven't trusted your gut, try trusting it. Right? Go for it, listen to it, feel where it's in your body, and then maybe go further to think about what's the narrative, what are the stories I'm telling myself, right?
Yeah.
Next question.
Well, the one I actually had, and then side note, thought we should switch it to self-care.
Mm-hmm. The way self-care, most things shift as we change and as we get older, and what does self-care mean to you? How does it look different now than it did? I mean, for Megan and I, pre-kids.
Yeah.
even CJ, when you were, I never remember what you were when you were 21, district manager, Western Canada.
She was the president and CEO
of the United States of America.
Definitely not.
But like at that age,
yeah,
you were in a pretty like high level job for being like 21. So I'm curious on what does self-care. I feel like we're in this like, again, with this like authenticity. It's like self-care, bubble, love, joy, pink thing. And I'm like,
I feel like I'm in my grandma era.
oh,
That just came to me as you were talking, and I was like,
I want to be in a grandma era. What are we doing?
I don't, maybe
I don't
not like
think
fully.
anything.
Do we?
Literally.
Where are we gonna have to start playing cards?
I already play Uno all the time with my kids. No, tell me what you mean by that.
Right? I'm like, it probably can go further into grandma-ness. I'm like overthinking this. But I'm like, that's what came to mind originally, because I'm like, I want my rest. I want my sleep. I want to go to bed early. I want to just be with the people that I think what I'm thinking is, A, like grandmas in general, and then I'm reflecting back on like even my grandmas in my life. And I'm like, they're so good at just knowing who they want to be with and who they don't want to be with, what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And I'm trying to, again, in this whole authenticity and perfectionism and blah, 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 blah journey that I'm on, I think I'm just trying to lean into, maybe channel my grandmas of just like, like, what do I actually want? Who do I want to be with? Right? What do I want to do? What am I actually interested in? And just not caring so much, about like what other people think. So little things like that would be like going to bed at a decent time.
Yes, I love going to bed.
Or being in bed even at a decent time, right? And I'm like, that looks and feels good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that as I get older too, I love that you're like, it's preferences, right? It's like, what's my preference? Versus, I'm losing the word, but like self-care too can be a preference. So it doesn't, always have to be like the skincare routine, which like I enjoy a good skincare as well. But it's, for me, rest is so important. And that's like, I want to lay in bed and read a book, or like, rest in whatever form that is. It's who you're surrounding yourself with, who you want to give your time to, and how you want to give your time to them and to what you're giving your time to.
So you would say self-care is about diving into like what you really want in life?
I think there's a huge lens to that for me personally.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think it trickles down. It's like, what do I want in life? How do I want to feel? And what do I need to feel that? So that's taking care of yourself, right? And a lot of times, like, self-care for me is really, really difficult and challenging, because self-care for me is doing the inner child work. That's very, very hard. Self-care for me is regular therapy appointments and chiropractic appointments and massage appointments. And then there's that dialogue of like, I should be spending my time doing other things, but I know I need to do these things to feel my best or to feel better, and that they support my mental health, because that always, has to be at the center of it for me. And that includes too, like, moving my body when I don't want to, and getting up and making my bed, and like doing those little micro habits that give you, a fresh start or a clean slate. I bookend with gratitude every single day. I'm obsessed with my gratitude journal. And to go back to like making those little promises to yourself, I said, I am doing gratitude morning and night every single day this year, and I haven't missed a day yet. And it's like, I feel really proud of myself every time I grab my book and do my, it says it's a 5-minute journal.
But that's building trust and confidence with yourself.
Exactly. And I love that you just said building trust and confidence, because the more you build trust with yourself, the more confident you are going to feel in yourself.
I actually believe self-care shouldn't be defined, because it should be whatever you want it to be.
Yes, I love that.
Because I was actually like, the reason I thought of this was because I saw a post, but it was like something about motherhood, and it was saying like a shower is not self-care. It's like a necessity or something. And I was like, okay, but let's go down this road for a second.
Mm-hmm. I think I know where you're going to go, and
what
I'm
if
with you.
the only thing I did that day, like, what if I was like, I had a busy day, the kids had all the sports, and I podcasted all day, and then blah, 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 and I made supper, and I got to the end of the day, and I was like, okay, so like, I'm tired, I want to go to bed, so I'm going to have a shower. So that was like the only thing I maybe did. Like, why can't that be my self-care?
I think it absolutely can.
Why? And I again, I think this spectrum I see on social media is like kind of hard for me sometimes, because I feel like, again, women everywhere are like, no, Erica, shower is like basic right. And I'm like, maybe this is though how I've set up my very chaotic life right now to be self-care for me.
Yes.
Is at the end of the day, I'm going to do this once my kids are in bed. I'm going to have like a really nice shower with my little dim bulb and just be like, this was great. Oh. So I find this is what sparked this thought for me. Cause I was like, again, how do you be authentic? Listen to your gut, fake it to me. All these things that I think other people define for you. And then you're constantly trying to be like, well, if I don't do it like that, then I'm not doing it right. And I think self-care is like, will look different for me than it'll look for you. And that doesn't mean that it's not real and doesn't matter. And for you, showering, you might stand on a hill and go, that is not self-care. That is something I'm entitled to. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to like use it as an opportunity to decompress for the day. And that's actually going to be great for me.
Well, maybe that's a nice way to frame your mind, because it's like, we always say like, I have to do this or I get to do this.
Yeah.
Right. Or I choose to do this.
Yeah.
So like, yes, I'm going to take a shower, and yes, I should be able to have a shower, but I'm going to choose to make this an act of self-care.
Yes. I love that. Choosing to make it an act.
I don't want to walk into all these situations. And I'm a firm believer that like moms don't get enough credit. I am one. Like, I believe we put in a lot of work. We do a lot of stuff that is unseen. I believe we are praised for our, is it martyrdom? Whatever. Yep. Like, you know, like we are celebrated when we're exhausted. Like, you know, whatever. So I do believe that, but I'm like, I also don't subscribe to like standing on whatever and almost like, if it can be self-care, why not?
I was just going to say,
like, why would we take that from us? Well, like, why can't it be self-care?
Why can't it? And self-care for you can look however it looks and feels good for you. We don't need to put the added pressure on. That's not self-care. You need to do self-care this way, because that's what you should do and that's what you deserve. And then we're like, oh shit, I'm not doing the self-care that I deserve. Well, when in reality, what is it that I need today to feel good?
Well, and I'd be like, shame on you for trying to take my self-care away.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, don't. Like, I don't need you to tell me that, Erica, everyone deserves a shower. I'm like, yes, everyone does. You're right. But I'm going to choose to make this about me. Like, I'm going to take that back and be like, this is for me.
Yeah.
So that's what sparked it. I literally don't remember where I saw this.
Well, and I feel like
I really don't remember. Someone's watching and they're like, I posted that. I'm like, I don't know if it was you.
I'm sorry, but we've turned self-care almost into a comparison game.
Yes, that's where I was trying to get to.
Which we've done with authenticity. We've done with your gut, right? Like, social media right now in our world has really polarized things, right? And turned everything into a comparison game. So if I'm not doing it like that person, or if I'm not doing it how I see society or my culture or my friends doing it, then I'm not doing it right.
Yeah. And like Erica said, you know, somebody's feed on social media is perfect and their house looks perfect and they always look perfect, and that's how they live their life. So why is that a negative thing? Because then that person who like lives their life like that is then seeing like, oh, to live your life authentically on social media, you have to be, you know, showing the behind the scenes, showing the this, and they're like, I am showing them behind the scenes. This is my behind the scenes.
Well, it usually says more about you. Right? Yes. Like, what's the resistance for you? Yeah. Right? Like, you need to look in and think, like, why am I so triggered by someone else's clean home? Is it because I would like my home to be clean and it's not? Do I think I need to have a clean home because everybody else has a clean home and I'm now frustrated by seeing a clean home because I feel like I'm not living up to this standard that I've chosen to consciously or unconsciously subscribe to? Right? I'm like, there's just a whole mesh of things. And I think what we need to do a better job of, and I've heard lots of people talk about this, especially like Lauren and Michael Bostic,
our besties, our besties, Lauren and Michael.
Hey,
you know what I mean? But when we are triggered by something, we need to less look at the person in front of us and think, why are they triggering me? And more look and hold up the mirror, you know, pull a Jamie Gordon moment at the fence, right? Like, hold up the mirror and think, why am I triggered? And go internal.
Yes.
What is triggering me? What is going on inside of me? What is the story or the narrative that I'm telling myself?
Preach it. I love that. I'm going to segue from the self-care conversation into the investing in yourself conversation, because when I wrote these questions, I was actually looking at it through like a business lens, like how do you invest in yourself in your business or for your business? But I think that we can really take it anywhere.
Oh, my investing bills are healthcare related, friends.
I thought you were going to say hella big.
Yes.
Talk about it.
They are very.
What's going on?
Very, yes. I really believe that if you look at your bank account, you can see where your priorities are. And so if we're talking about, what did you just say?
So McDonald's Diet Coke?
Yes. Literally, right? I'm like, people think that it's hard to figure out like where your money and your time and your things are going. And I'm like, just look at your bank account and you'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on internally. Yep. Investing in myself right now, if we're not going to like go like the whole business route, is my health. And my mind, I don't have ADHD, but my mind is like,
I've actually been questioning if I have a little ADHD.
I don't.
You guys already got anxiety. Get out of here. ADHD is mine.
You can have it. I am happy for you to have it.
Okay, I will speak to something.
Please.
I think, thinking about business, I think I would venture to say that until you learn to invest in yourself personally, investing in yourself business-wise might be a struggle. Because I talk to so many people and they're like, money, it's money, and I'm like, again, maybe people don't like this notion, but sometimes I'm like, you got to spend money to make money. Like you have to invest. It's called like, you have to do something. You have to take action. And so I would venture to say that a lot of people like that also probably don't invest in themselves very often.
I would agree.
Outside of business. Like they're not. And what does investing in yourself look like? Going to a naturopath. Going to massage. I've been doing naturopath, chiro, massage, body talks, fitness training. I'm like, I am investing in my personal being and seeing the benefits and understanding. Now, as I step into business, I can understand what it is to invest in something I care for. And if you aren't investing in yourself, how I would be, I don't know. I don't have the answer for this, but like, how do you then invest in something that's outside of yourself?
Well, the best investment you can make is in yourself.
Yes.
Because guess what? The stock market crashes, you still have yourself.
Yeah.
And so something I've always firmly believed, whether it's business or like more like healthcare, an overall health perspective, I'm like, if you lose your job tomorrow, right? If something awful happens, like what do you have left at the end of the day? You have your physical body, you have your mind, you have whatever you've invested back into yourself.
Yeah.
And so you will always be able to take that away with you. And again, I heard someone else say that. I'm always trying to give credit. It might have been like Gary Vee or something, but it's like no one can strip you of what you've invested into yourself.
Yeah. And I always argue that investing in yourself actually is investing in your business. If we talk about business in that way, it's like, if you are the business, you have to invest in yourself in order for your business to do anything, first of all. But I also want to make the point that I think that when we say like, how are you investing in yourself? We automatically think like, oh, what am I spending the money on? Right. And I would argue the fact that some things don't have to cost anything, or they can cost very little. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What content are you taking in? What are you reading? What online courses are you taking? Are you investing in a coach or a mentor? There are so many programs and free tutorials and all of that kind of stuff. We can go with that. Are you going for a walk? Are you getting some sunshine? Are you drinking water? That is all investing in yourself too. And I think that sometimes we think of like big picture things when we can really micro it down and see like, what are the little things that I'm doing every single day?
I would say on investing in yourself, and again, your business, and we're so invested in our businesses that it's like, it kind of becomes all this like meshed in thing. So I think our main point is like, highly recommend investing in yourself and your business, right? Like no one's going to care about you or your business as much as you. So invest. And that doesn't mean that it has to be $100,000. It might be
getting sleep,
staying
hydrated, getting sun outside,
giving yourself
exercise.
boundaries, right? Giving yourself boundaries that I'm going to work 9 to 5 and nothing else, because I'm going to invest in my family and have a good family dynamic, which is actually going to give back to your business.
Yes, thank you. All of this, all of the good that you're investing into yourself comes out tenfold.
I think people just see it so some people can sometimes see it so disconnected, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I need the tangible sales results from my business. And I'm like, but if you were showing up as your worst version of yourself, you're not going to get promoted in your job. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get those sales. You're not going to get those clients. You're not going to get those leads, right? Like, how are you showing up for yourself to be the best version of yourself that will trickle into all other aspects of your life?
It all starts with you.
Okay, so let's end this wild episode. I'm debating keeping some of this wild stuff in here today.
I think you should.
I think it's funny.
It's like a rodeo, guys.
Yes.
You know, which like rodeos are entertaining to watch. So maybe this will be entertaining.
I want to show my boots without showing everything else.
You're watching this online. Let's see.
Let's do, I'm trying to think because we covered so many things. Let's do one of our favorite self-care for us as individuals, things that we like to do that we haven't already said.
I'm like, I'm in the camera. I can't close my eyes. I was like sitting there closing my eyes thinking, and then Megan started talking and I was like, open your eyes, TJ. Look alive.
Good catch. Look alive over there. One of my favorite things to do is be by myself.
Yes.
Is when Asher's asleep and like Andrew's doing something else, and I like get into bed with my book and like my face mask, and I just enjoy like the quiet and my own thoughts. Or like sometimes I'll even just like bring my laptop into bed and do work, but it's just like that act of just like being in your bed by yourself in a different room than everybody else. There's just a little bit of magic there. That's like one of my favorite things.
I have like two, I said only one, but I have like two thoughts. That's not self-care. That was just like something I liked.
Oh, but I want to know what that is now.
Okay, this is not self-care, but kind of, but not
Showering.
Okay, whatever.
No.
Showering, guys. No, I was thinking about like my favorite time of day. And last summer, I would like Nick would be like seeding, right? Or it was probably actually harvest, right? It's more like fall. And in the past, or whatever he's working, I like get the kids to bed, and our basement was like very cold and like dark, and I would like get all the kids to bed and like say goodnight, and we'd have our bedtime routine, and I'd like walk up the stairs and it would get like light because obviously it's like light in the evening, and I would go around and I'd open all the windows and all the blinds because we didn't have AC, and I'd like let all the cool summer breeze in, and it was just like this like calm moment. I'm chaotic, so I think I really actually love calm moments. And that just like popped into my head when I was thinking about like self-care, which that's not self-care. Like it isn't. That was just a moment. Okay, I'm going to be a little bold maybe. Self-care for me is being intimate with my husband. It's very important to me. My love language is physical touch is my first one. So self-care is very much that intimacy I share with Nick.
Love it.
Sorry, mom and dad.
And I think I'm having a hard time differentiating between, and maybe this was you too, like a moment that feels good,
Yeah.
and like self-care in this moment, right? Like as I was hearing you listen, because I'm like, a moment that feels good right now is that Ben was able to come out to Saskatchewan with me,
Yeah.
right? And so that he's here, I'm just like really happy and present, and that feels like a good moment, and also like self-care. I think something that I've been doing for myself recently, I've been having like just very tight body parts, so like a tight hip and like legs and like neck and like things, and so I have been taking time in the mornings, probably like 20 or 30 minutes to like stretch
Good for you.
and like foam roll and just like think and just like be and have some time. And so that I think has been self-care for my soul, to just like start slow in the mornings, and then also for my physical body.
I love that.
Like what you've just said is exactly what I mean. Like, why can't your self-care be a necessity?
Yeah.
But we view self-care as like
An extra.
an extra. And that's what I was trying to say about the shower. Like,
Yes.
why does it have to be extra? Why can't my self-care be making my lunch? It's like what Ashley said about
Caring for
people
myself.
doing boundaries every day and not realizing it. I'm like, you know, making the lunch I want to eat. Like, that's self-care.
Yeah. Filling your water bottle.
Filling your
for the
water
day.
bottle. Like, there are actually things that are like, I am caring for myself right now.
Yes. Yep.
And I wonder what would happen if we started changing that narrative a little bit in our daily, you know, in our things. Because I really think this is why women struggle with self-care, because they're like, well, I don't want to go spend money, because they're like, I have to go to a spa,
Yeah.
and I have to go to Starbucks, and I have to go to do all these things that are like, and it's like, no, but why don't you just like put your kids to bed and dim the lights and read a book? And or even, okay, so you got your kids to bed, they're in bed, and you're standing there, and now you're gonna meal prep for the week, because you are now caring for yourself, your future self.
Yeah, I love that. Caring for your future self.
Boom, you're welcome.
Boom. Mic drop.
Let us know what you think about this episode. I know it was kind of weird and all over the place. Thank you so much to our community. Let's do a little shout out.
No, we
Love you
absolutely
guys.
love our community. We say this all the time, I think, but we're just so thankful that you guys are loving the guests that we bring on, the conversation, the realness that we're able to have, that you guys are subscribing and liking and sharing and DMing us.
And please DM us your self-care. What are you guys thinking about this topic? Because we would love to hear what you do for yourself for self-care, and like what you think the necessities of self-care are.
And go and subscribe on YouTube.
Please subscribe.
Please.
Please do it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of the Her Podcast. If you want to follow along with us, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at its.her.podcast. We can't wait to see you there.
Bye.
Bye. Adios.